Morning, welcome back to the Football Terrace. The Glazers back Solskjær. The Glazers will keep Solskjær in power. He expects to be in charge for the Watford game. He and his team have been allowed to go away for a very short break. Now after the abysmal weekend that saw them drop down to 6th, fall further away from the title race, be leapfrogged by rivals in the top 4 race. He's away. The players have been given a break. There are reports the players were miffed by this example. And Gunnar Solskjær to stay at Manchester United, as per the reports this morning across multiple mainstream media outlets. On top of that, Ed Woodward is being offered a consultative role at Manchester United upon his exit in April of 2022. So the reign and the input and the sort of, consultative powers of Ed Woodward will still not be away from Manchester United, irrespective of him leaving. He'll still have a say. He still owns shares in the football club as well, and a vast number of them also. So still a very powerful figure at the football club. The Thomas Tuchel example is being ignored massively here by Manchester United. We're allowing our season to burn out. We're allowing our season to fall away. At the very least, last year, Chelsea was still in the top 4 race and Chelsea was still in the Champions League. After the international break, a very hard run of games for Man United, Watford, which should still be a victory even with our current form, but who knows? But after that, Villarreal away, followed by back-to-back games to Chelsea and Arsenal. The season is spiraling out of control. But Ollie seemingly, as it stands of today, being backed. As it stands right now, being backed. I do want your thoughts and I want your feelings. Another interesting piece of news today as well about Man United. Sancho may be being converted into a right wing back. A right wing back at Manchester United. That is what they're thinking of doing. Right wing back is what they're thinking of creating and turning him into. I'm going to take your calls this morning on the live Done Deal show. I need to know how you think and feel about this. I really, really do. We have a super chat very early on here that says, if Ollie is staying, he's got to do something different now. We, the fans, don't want to see the same crap week after week. And of course, we want to see something different. But it took him long enough to get the style and the system in place that he did have. This year, he's tried to change it and it's fallen apart. Can he convince the players to go back to what they were doing last year, or can he implement something different? I mean, giving the players 4 or 5 days holiday isn't going to help that, in my opinion. Maybe the respite will do everybody good, but I can't see it myself. I can't see Ollie turning this around, but I do hear what you're saying there, Ray. I really do. Let's have a little look here. Terry, please send me the link. I want to educate you on football. The link always gets shared, my brother. You can just phone in like everybody else has to do. Adios, Man United is what GS has got to say here. I want to get morning, Matt. Hope you're well, buddy. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Sarim here. Sarim Iqbal says, RIP Man United. And I totally get. So the comment is saying Tuchel ignored. And it's the Tuchel example. It's the Tuchel example ignored by Manchester United of what can happen when you have a very good squad. And I know I've seen a lot of talk about Man United's squad being imbalanced. Man United's squad still needing work. And of course it does. But most of the squads in the Premier League right now have still got holes in, still got players that the fan bases especially want to see filled. Liverpool, City, even the most balanced of the big 6 sides right now, Chelsea. If you ask Chelsea fans honest opinion, there'll be 1 or 2 players out there they still think could make their squad more balanced and better. We've ignored the Tuchel example. We've ignored the fact that last year when Chelsea went from an inexperienced, under par manager, below par, not under par, below par manager, the improvement was almost instant. Now, that isn't to say that United will go and win the Champions League by employing a top-class to world-class manager. But it most certainly would help our chances. There is no plan at this football club. And I have to say that this is I'm a kind of person that likes to admit my flaws, and I have to say I'm embarrassed by ever giving the Glazers and Man United, as in the board of Man United, another opportunity. And over Ollie's kind of tenure, I've listened to reports from many mainstream media outlets, a lot of journalists that have been close to the club, that have told us about the transfer structure rebuild, the cultural rebuild, the plan that's being set in place to set Man United, not just get them back onto an even keel now, but set them on the road to success over the medium to long term. Did I completely believe it? No. I was very open about that. I believe it when I saw it, but I gave them time. I gave them the benefit of the doubt during difficult moments. I stood by Ollie mainly because I wanted to see the fruits of the labor that were being created. Only now for us to be shown that it was a complete facade. It was a complete lie. It was a complete and utter fugazi. Manchester United Football Club have been building nothing. They instilled a yes man. And I rejected a lot of claims of him being a yes man through blind loyalty, maybe. I'm not even sure what it was. But I was completely and utterly wrong about that. And the only way forward for us now is to employ the best managers possible if we want to win. We're ignoring the Tuchel example. And the most painful element about this is not that we're ignoring it because we think we found something better. We're ignoring it because they know that dealing with world-class managers, world-class directors of football is only going to create challenge and is going to expose them for their inefficiencies and their incompetence as owners of this football club. And I'm getting to a point now where I'm utterly embarrassed by the legendary figures at this club, the ex-pros that play for this club not calling the Glazers out with enough vigor, with enough chest. They've been given an absolute free ride as far as I'm concerned. During the Super League, all the ownerships were terrible, bad people. And of course, Ollie is hugely accountable for not being a good enough manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjær is accountable for his tactical decisions. He's accountable for playing Rashford when not fit. He's accountable for playing Maguire when not fit. He's accountable for allowing a structure and a system to go out onto the field of play that isn't working. The players are all confused, out of position, doing the wrong things. That's all on Ollie. But to allow him to stay for one more training session, it's complete malpractice. And the fact that we're now looking to give Woodward a stay of execution at the club. I know that it's kind of typical for big organizations when a very senior figure leaves to keep them employed on a consultative basis so that there's a crossover period. But this is telling you they're happy with what Ed Woodward has done. This is legitimately telling you they are happy with everything that Woodward has done at Manchester United, that they still want to take advice from Ed Woodward at Manchester United. It's an abomination. And now they want to convert Jadon Sancho into a goddamn right wing back. They want to convert Jadon Sancho into a right wing back. Think about that for a second. Jadon Sancho into a right wing back. They wanted him as the future long-term right midfielder, right inside forward. That's what he was scouted for. Facts. Those scouting sessions were intensive for over 2 years. Intensive for 2 years. It took 2 summers to sign him. It cost £73 million in a fee. Multiple millions of pounds in image rights and salaries and wages. He's hardly played at all. There's been no strategy to integrate him into the team properly. And now they're going to try him as a right wing back. If it wasn't so terrible, it'd be funny. If it wasn't so painful, it would be funny. It's an embarrassment to allow this to continue. There are managers in the Premier League, from Graham Potter through to Brendan Rodgers, that would give you their right ball bag and the ball to have the ability to coach this squad that could get more than a tune out of this squad. And that's being ignored. That is being ignored on a consistent basis. Ollie's being allowed to stay. Do I think he's walking a tightrope? Yes. Do I think they've considered sacking him? Yes. Do I think they've looked at other candidates, spoke to other candidates? Yes, I do. I don't believe they're just sitting on their hands. But this stay of execution is beyond painful. It's like staying together for your kids. Never works out. It's like having a baby to save a relationship. It never works out. Pull the goddamn plaster off. The gulf between Ollie and the Tuchel's, Peps, and Klopps has been exposed beyond belief. The gap is Grand Canyon sized. Massive. And it gets worse. It just gets worse and worse and worse and worse for Manchester United. It really does. I want to take your calls this morning. I want to know what you're thinking and feeling. Do me a big, big favor and smash that like button. Make sure you are getting that done for us. We've got some super chats here to do. Man like Ads, my brother, says, I'm embarrassed. I'm just glad I got to see my team win the Premier League at least once. We ain't winning another one for a while yet. Sad times. Let's keep going through some of these comments. I'm so glad as well that StreamYard has fixed its scroll button there. So you don't miss the super chats. It's amazing. Terry, I know I don't like Ollie. I think he's a coward, reactive and clueless. I honestly think Zidane and Conte are band-aids. They want Brendan Rodgers or who's TH? Oh, Ten Hag. Ten Hag, sorry. Yeah, look, and you could be very, very right there, my friend. But we can still sack Ollie. It's very easy. You sack Ollie and you bring in any interim. I'm saying any interim right now for a reason. But you say we've got a mainstay target that we'll be bringing in at the end of the summer. Just removing Ollie, I think, increases the mood. It increases the mood. Letting him stay when failing just doesn't make any sense, irrespective of who you're going after. Ian here says, Terry gaslighting over a rumor. But it's a rumor that's come from The Athletic. It's an article from The Athletic. And I can only go by what's being reported. If you don't think it's true, then say that you don't think it is true, my friend. I'm just giving you the news and giving you my opinion based on more than 9 years, but 9 years of malpractice from these owners and Ed Woodward. So that's what I'm going by, my friend. So I told you before, and I'll tell you now, they won't sack him ever until his contract ends. They are cowards. It's the American sport culture. Trust me, is what Basher's got to say. Pulisic's personal doctor says United fans are like that. United fans are like that. They are annoying trust fund kids who had the trust fund taken off them. All this complaining and whining is getting old, is what Pulisic's personal doctor has got to say today. Jailings fam says Mark Goldbridge said Ollie will get sacked this week. And he may very well do. He may very well do. And there is a part of me, like I said earlier, I feel like something could be cooking. The fact he's been sent away on holiday, maybe they're working on a new, maybe they are trying to work on a new manager in silence and they just want everything to die down. But every day that goes by, it becomes less and less likely that a new manager is going to come in. Now, a new manager coming in today, it doesn't get to work with his new teammates because they're his new team because everybody's away on international break or on holiday. But I'm only going by what's been said today by Chris Wheeler in the Daily Mail. Of course, what was echoed yesterday by The Athletic and a number of other outlets, including Sky Sports, that there are no immediate plans to remove him. Considerations have been made again, but nothing to remove him as of now. Cedric here says the Glazers meeting with some fans was nothing more than a press stunt and a lie. What are the fans who were there at that meeting saying? Not a penny more. Rise up is what Cedric's got to say. And I hear you on that, my friend. I do. Original Base Annie says United fans wake up, take off the Walt Disney masks. Our club is in the pits. Stop going to games. They keep lying and can't stand. And I can't stand this, is what Original Base Annie has got to say. Nazir says, time to start supporting your team, United fans. Out of the title race now, and before you know it, it will be out of the top 4. Is gone. Will be embarrassing with the riches of talent you have. Back your team and manager. It's not about backing the team and manager, buddy, in my opinion. It's about being real. I can't blindly support a team that I know is going to fail. That doesn't make any sense to me. I can't do that, and I won't do that. I have to be honest. I have to be open. This Manchester United team, irrespective of my support, is not going to challenge for major trophies under Solskjær. That was still something I was saying last year. 18 months ago, 2 years, I wasn't convinced we'd be able to do it. But they sold us the idea they were building a plan for the future. They were building a plan for the future. But they haven't gone and done it. They haven't gone and done it. And that, for me, is highly, highly, highly frustrating. It really, really is. It really is frustrating to me. I'm going to share the link now for you to come on and have your say. I want to take some calls this morning on the football terrace. I want to get that done. Just bear with me a second. I'm going to share the link now. I'm going to share the link now in the live comment sections. I want to take your call this morning. There we go. We'll pin that live comment We'll pin that live comment to the live chat. I want to, as I say, I want to hear from you all this morning. I want to know what you're thinking and you're feeling. Ed Woodward, maybe staying on. As I say with Ed Woodward, the consultative role is normal for a person who's leaving from a senior position to get a consultative role to help with handover, to help with the crossover and the integration of someone new. But what this tells me, above and beyond anything else, legit, is they're happy with what Woodward has done. That's the message that the Glazers are sending here. Because what you wouldn't do, what you would never, ever, ever, ever do is have someone who's fouled at their job put into one of those consultative roles. Man United don't recognize what he's done as failure. Do me a favor this morning, please, people, and smash that like button. Very important to the channel that you get that done. First up to have his say today is I'm going to get Safe wants to come on and speak. Young little Safe wants to come on and have his say this morning. Welcome to the terrace, mate. What's on your mind?
Hey, Tim, what's up? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. What do you want to say, bro?
Well, first of all, I want to say that you have become a work-based person, WOKE, because number one, we cannot get rid of the Glazers, and you need to understand this.
So say
the
that again?
Glazers we cannot get rid of the Glazers.
Right.
Because you do not own the shares of the football club. I don't own the shares of the football club. None of the Manchester United fans own any shares or own Manchester United Football Club. So what's the point? You're wasting your energy and your time on the Glazers, saying we should get rid of the Glazers. There's nothing much we can do here. We have to accept that that's how Manchester United is running. It's running badly. We have to accept this as fans.
Okay.
And I'm really, really frustrated with you because you keep saying, "Oh, let's get rid of the Glazers." Yesterday, you made a video about this man. Why did Manchester United did not hire him? I disagree with you totally, because this type of people will create toxicity at a football club. That's like having a person telling you when you should go live, how many streams you should do, what you should talk about, stop midnight vibes. You shouldn't do any more cloning shows. So we do not need this type of person to come in our football club. Sorry, I don't remember his name. The person that we said no yesterday. You made a video yesterday afternoon at 4 o'clock.
Right. Okay.
Yep. So please stop being like a work, and we have to accept that's how the football club is running. As fans, we cannot do anything.
Why? Well, hang on. So where you're the only thing I agree with you on is we cannot maybe not make them sell, but why do we have to accept the way they run the football club? Why?
Why? Because that's how life is. I mean, we can shout, we can say we want this football club to run it this way. We need to get rid of Oli. At the end of the day, it's the board's decision. There's nothing much the fans can do. The fans don't have the
that's
power.
Bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You can pull your money away.
It's true.
You know, it's not true. It's not true. It's a lie. It's a lie. You buy Man United merchandise, don't you?
Yes.
Yes. So you support the Glazers.
Okay. But
if every Man United fan like you that gives them money stop spending money, you could make them change their ways. But they don't. You're just accepting of how they run the club, and that's the point. That's why we're on the hamster wheel, because nobody's willing to get off of it. Nobody's willing to sacrifice what they want to make their football club be run better. Nobody's willing to sacrifice their days at the ground, the day out with their family, meeting the boys for a drink, buying the merchandise, wearing the badge and repping. Like, nobody's prepared to drop their own personal desires surrounding their football club to make the club be run better. Nobody's willing to sacrifice. And that's fair if you're willing to accept this. But if we keep being run this way, we are never challenging for major honours ever again. Are you willing to accept that?
And that's life. That's nothing much we can do, because
but there
let's
is.
say that you own the shares at okay, Terry, let me say this to you. If we own shares at Manchester United and I own the shares at Manchester United, we can buy the club from them, but we don't.
You can't. No, but no,
we don't own any shares.
No, but the shares that they have available for public consumption don't have voting rights attached to them. Therefore, it doesn't matter how many you buy, you can own all of them, but you don't have voting rights. Without voting rights, you have no power. It's not about buying the club off of them. It's about making them run it differently. You are the Glazers, and I respect your opinion. You support the Glazers. You're happy with the Glazers. You're willing to give the Glazers your money, and that is your decision, my friend. Safe, thank you for coming on and having your say. Thank you very much indeed. Top, man. Thank you. Competition time at the Football Terrace. Make sure you smash that like and that share button, people. We're going to tell you about it right now. So we've got the Football Terrace secret phrase in the envelope behind me. Now, we have given away 3 clues in relation to what this is. Now, if you guess the secret football phrase, you will win a brand new Xbox, 2 control pads in a game of your choice, plus a limited edition Boo Hoo Man hoodie. The clues that have gone out so far have been, doesn't happen straight away. It's a 90s thing, and it is connected to transfers and form. Those are the clues around this secret football phrase. Keep your guesses coming. We've had a few guesses that have come in this morning. This one says phrase Bosman ruling. No, it's not the Bosman ruling, but that's a very good guess indeed. Terry, I'm done with United's standards have dropped. What else are we saying here? Is Ollie going to be in charge for the Watford game? Well, that's what the reports have said this morning. This could change. It could change. But as of now, Chris Wheeler has come out and said Ollie is expected to take charge of the game. That is what he is expected to say. We had a guess here that says, is the phrase class of 92? No, it's not class of 92, but that is a very good guess. That is a very, very good guess. Thank you, my friend. Bounce back ability. I like that. I love words like that. There we go. Next on the show to have you say this morning is going to be Pav. Pav's here with us. What you saying, mate?
Mate, Safe made no sense, man. Like, what do you mean you can't get the Glazers out? How the hell did Blackpool get their owners out by stop attending games? Literally all their fans stop attending games. How did Liverpool fans get Gillette out? Like, they kicked up a fuss. Like, of course you could get them out, but you need the majority to agree on one thing. And the problem with our club is that there's too many people, too many factions who think they're bigger than one person or they're bigger than another person. And then there's too many sheep who just sit there listening to other people rather than making up their own mind. Have your own opinion, have your own thinking to what you think that needs to be changed. Stop sitting there and listening to people just because they've got a big YouTube account or a big Twitter following. Have your own bloody mind. It's not that hard. Like, I haven't bought a shirt for Man United since Fergie retired. I literally bought his memorabilia retirement shirt, and that was the last time I bought a shirt. I'll happily say that I've gone to games. I do go to games a couple of times a year, but I don't spend money on merchandise or anything because I'm not willing to pay my money when the club ain't moving the way that they should be. Like other people who sit there moaning about the ownership, moaning about the managerial stuff, you're still pumping your money into it. Like you're buying your kids this and that, you're buying yourself things. You're literally just like everyone else. But that's the issue. Like, of course, we could get the Glazers out. Like what we done with one of those processes when you storm the pitch, stop the bus. It can be done. You do it on a constant basis.
Oh, mate, and that's exactly it. And
it's just you have to keep consistency, not a one-time thing. This is the problem with our fans. It's like a one-time thing, and then someone will try to host something or a protest, and then you have someone come out on Twitter and say, "There's no point having one," blah blah blah, and then you know what I mean. There's just too many factions because everyone thinks they're better than everyone else. That's the problem with this fan base, and I probably believe that we're probably the most messed up club in the whole of Europe. You can say about Madrid or Barca, but at least when their fans get together, they get together when they want something changed. With our fans, we're like a one-trick pony, and then everyone sits at home, and that's it. And then, oh look, we've been called up to a meeting with fucking Joel Glazer, and he's gonna feed us lies, and now we should just calm down. Like, you should never believe someone who's literally kicked us in the mud, and then they say they're gonna change. You should never believe it in the first place. But I don't know, bruv. Like the whole fan base at the moment is a bit of a joke. Like it's like when you say, like, I was watching one of your videos yesterday, and you said you can't, like, obviously you won't go to the protest, and I'm the same. I'm not going to drive 4 hours up for like a petty protest, and then if no one turns up because this person didn't want it or this person didn't host it, it's a joke. There's never like a proper plan to what we need to do. We need a consistent plan. If we really want to get rid of these owners, you can get rid of these owners. It's like, how many times have you said it? Stop pumping in money. Like even these sponsors pulled out. That new training sponsor pulled out. You can do stuff, but you have to keep it on a consistent basis.
Mate, I hear you. I hear you completely. I really do. Pav, listen, great points being made there. Top man, and thank you for calling in this morning and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. Man. Thank you, Pav. There's a comment here from Leo. Leo says you've spent $2 billion. I don't quite think we spent since Fergie retired on transfer fees alone. It depends on what outlet you read, but between 900 to 1.1 billion. You're right. We have. The problem that Manchester United fans have is look at the Sancho news this morning. 2 years of extensive scouting. The player meant to be coming in to solve the right-hand side of the field issue, which has been an ongoing problem for a decade. We finally address it. Because the manager is now struggling, everybody at the club is going to sit back and maybe see Sancho be used as a right wing back. With some of the managerial candidates we might be looking at, there is no sure telltale signs or no guarantees that players like Sancho that have had all this money pumped into them will be under the plan of this new manager, meaning he could become surplus to requirements. The reason that amount of money has been spent is because there hasn't been a club plan of action where we sign a specific type of player and then a player manager to manage that type of player. Everything is square pegs and round holes. So yes, money has been spent. That's why the expectation is so high, because we spend enough money to be challenging for Prems and challenging in the Champions League, and we're not. That's the infuriating matter. Now, everything is on a perspective scale. There are lots of clubs that would love to spend as much as Manchester United do, but therefore the expectations are different. When you're at that elite end of the spectrum, it almost becomes, to some football clubs, Man United fans' issues are like first world problems. It's like, I'm really annoyed. I'm in first class and I'm unhappy because the food was a little bit cold and the champagne weren't as chilled as I like. To someone sitting in economy class, they're going to say, why are you moaning? I'd love a great meal and free champagne on an aeroplane flight. Yeah, you didn't pay 10 grand for your ticket though, did you? You pay 500 quid. So there's a real difference. If you paid £10,000 for an airline ticket, you would expect the whole experience to be first class, absolutely amazing. When Manchester United spend hundreds of millions, billions of pounds on players and their staff, you expect results to be of that ilk and that level. It's all about perspective. Wasting the money and failing after spending it is still bad ownership. To not be competitive at all for nearly a decade when spending that amount of money is utterly unforgivable. Just like Liverpool up until the Klopp era. People don't realise it. Between the start of the Premier League until Fergie retired, Liverpool spent more money on buying players than Man United did. That's terrible. It's terrible to not only to be competitive on a handful of occasions, but they still won a Champions League in that period as well. For Man United for a decade to be one of the biggest spenders in the world and to not be competitive is damn right malpractice. It really is. We've got some super chats to do here with you all this morning. Right. I don't buy tickets, merch or from sponsors. I have sports channels. Hashtag Glazers out. Is the phrase, if you eat caviar every day, it's difficult to return to sausages? It isn't, but I quite like that. But it's also very, very true. It's a very, very true comment, what you just said there. I once made a really bad mistake when it comes to, I quite like wine. And I'm very working class. I normally spend between £7 to £12 on a bottle of wine. I treated myself once to like a £57.99 bottle of red wine. And it was ridiculously good. Then I went and bought a bottle of $8.99 wine from Tesco's. It did taste very good. I was like, oh, why have I done this? My palate has now experienced something elite. And by the way, that's not even £57. There's like lots more that are expensive. But so you suddenly start dining or eating or flying at another level. You go back down to economy class. It's like, oh, wow, this is not great. This ain't great. So be mindful of that if you buy really expensive stuff just for a one-off treat. Nothing else tastes as good again. Phrase, world at his feet. No, it isn't. Good guess, though, Bash. But thank you very much for that super chat. Right, my next caller today, man like Gunnar King is here. What do you want to say, bro? Oh, seems to have dropped off just as we're putting Gunnar King on. He'll try and call back. The 12th man talks is here. What you saying, bro? You're on mute. There we go.
What's happening?
Morning.
Bro?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Stressed. I can't believe what's going on with this club, man. It's we're on a joke. We're on an absolute joke thing. Like, what would you? I just read that Woodward is staying on or going to be in some kind of consultancy. What's he consulting on?
I don't know. I mean, I don't get it, bruv. It legitimately is just it's just beyond embarrassing, mate.
This is a joke. I don't know what to think. I heard that one guy saying about we can't get these Glazers out. No, he's right, but not for the reasons he thinks. Not because we can't fight. It's because we don't. Because how many fans just keep buying into this? Do you know how hard it is to not go and see Ronaldo play? Do you know I never thought I'd ever get to see Ronaldo play for Man United again? Do you know how hard it is to keep turning down tickets or not buy a ticket to go and watch a game?
Mate, I hear you.
And this is a joke. And we're going to lose Pogba again and I ain't going to go and see him. Do you know what I mean? I can't support this regime. This is not the club that I knew. You know what I mean? This is not the club that I supported. I support the team because I want the team to do well. Everything else outside of the team, I don't support this PLC. This is a joke.
I do hear that. Just I want to just change the subject very quickly, just so let you know who's talking. By the way, people, this is the man behind one of the best sort of things you can see on socials. The 12th Man Talks, brilliant caricatures and cartoon work over there by this man. So go check him out. 12th Man Talks over on. I'll actually put the page up properly here. You see it on Twitter. Go check it out. Really, really good stuff over there. Go check out what he's got to say. Brilliant content. But yeah, mate, I completely hear you. I'm in the same boat. Like, I want to buy my kids the kits. I want to go to games again. I want to support it, but I just can't. And for me, the only fans I hear say that there's no way we can change the Glazers or get them out are the ones that go to games or like buying the merch. That they're the only ones I hear it from, and that's because they're not willing to give up those things, which again I'm cool with. I don't have an issue, but it's like you can't fund something you don't like and expect it to change. It doesn't make sense to me personally.
I'm with you. Firstly, thanks for the shout out, man. Appreciate that. You know what? This whole week has had me so spun. I haven't even been able to make a piece. I can't think of what. I'm so angry. I can't even find a joke in this. Like I'm furious. Do you know what I mean? Like the abject performances. This, like, it's consistent. Like when people say that we're inconsistent, we're not inconsistent. We're very consistent. We're consistently poor. There's consistently no plan. You know what I mean? There's no patterns of play with anything that we do on the pitch. There's no pattern, and there shouldn't be, because there's no pattern of play of how we do things off the pitch. Do you know what I mean? And then there's no pattern of play of how we do things as fans. Like, we're all a mess in every section of this club. We're a mess. Do you know what I mean? Every section. And we're not Man United, bro. We're all men divided. We're all divided. This is a joke. Like, how do people still sing Ollie's name? How do people still pay? How do you complain from inside the stadium? How? How are you paying money for these tickets, wearing the shirts, going onto your channels and this and the other, while you're paying money to go and watch this nonsense? You're supporting it. Do you know? I'm sorry. I'm not.
Mate, no, bro. I completely and utterly hear you. I completely hear you, and I completely and utterly agree. And as I've said before, everybody, for me, the way I am as a person, free to do what you want, man. Everyone's free. Go do what you want. Go do whatever it is that you need to do as an individual. But don't moan about it and fund it. It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. And look, for me, I look at it this way: like, my kids are too young to actually understand what's going on. If you've got a 10-year-old, you know, a kid in their teens, and you say, "Look, I know we want to go. I know, you know," even if it's like, I look at it this way, and I'd love to have an honest conversation with some of these, you know, like the Reds that have been going for decades, who's maybe their grandfather has been, you know, they've got the same season tickets, been in the family for 70 years. Do you know how powerful that could be for them all to walk away?
Yeah.
I feel like, and I don't even mean it in a disrespect. I look at it and think to myself, what if that message that we send? And I know people say things like, but the tourists would turn up. Yeah, but the one thing I'd say about international fans is the majority that I've ever spoken to, they want to support the club in yes, they're allowed to support in their way, but they would follow suit. They would go, wow, look at that. I just think they would. But it's about leading by example. And a lot of match-going fans believe that they're the most important type of fans. Well, if you truly believe you're the most important, then lead by example. Lead by example and do something. But I know a lot of match-going fans. I used to go with them, and I've asked them these questions privately. And a lot of the answers have been, but it's my only escapism. It's my one day out a week. It's the only time I socialize each week. What am I meant to do? And so I do get it. And that's where the Glazers are parasites, because they know it's almost impossible for people to walk away. But yeah, look, mate, we're on this hamster wheel for a while. Listen, bro, thanks for calling in and having your say. Really appreciate it, my guy. Top man. Thank you. Go check out his work, people. I was about to put KJ on, but he's not there anymore. Gunnar King's back. What are you saying, mate?
Hey, man. How's it going, man? Sorry about earlier, man. No, it's just letting my friend out. So
no worries,
man.
Bro.
Great to be on. It's been a while, man. But look, man, I mean, honestly, there's a rival, obviously, you know, the Fergie, Wenger era. It's funny, but it gets to a point where it's not anymore. You know, like, it really isn't. You know, just seeing Man United as an institution. Yeah. Like, you know, it's not like any other rival. It's a British institution. 2 3-peats, 2 Champions Leagues, Sir Alex Ferguson, you know, like the Busby Babes, the history, like everything is there. Like, it's the biggest club in the world. We all know this. Yeah, like, it's like a lot of people, like, we laugh about Ollie. We say, you know, like, changing Ollie needs to happen. And I've said the same about my club for a long time, you know, like, changing the manager it's the surface layer change, you know, like how the club is run, you know, like how you recruit staff, not just players, coaching staff, you know, but all the backroom setup, the recruitment strategy, all of that. I'm looking at it right now. It's a big problem. You know, it's a collective problem. You know, I think, you know, people look at Newcastle hiring Howe and they think that's it, Newcastle are back. You know, like, no, you know, like there's so much that goes into how a football club's run and how that affects your performances on the pitch that I think needs changing at United.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree with you more. It's that there is so much like connected to this on and off, and it's, you know, I've said it before. Like Ollie's responsible for a lot of things, but the way we're run as a football club is also like massively important. It really, really is. And right now, there just doesn't seem to be any way off of the hamster wheel, really. But there we go. Listen, Gunnar King, thanks for calling in, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. Top man. Thank you very much indeed. My son doesn't want to support Arsenal. Should I disown him? No, you shouldn't disown him. You really, really shouldn't. Going to be getting a gal on in a few moments. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. We have a winner of the Football Terrace secret phrase. It was Fergie's fledglings. That is what it was. And Pulisic's personal doctor has got it right. That, my friend, was the correct answer. So it doesn't happen straight away. It took Fergie many, many years to develop these individuals. Based on their form and quality, Man United failed in the mid-90s to sign any major transfers, and they transferred out of the club 3 of their best players in Ince, Hughes and Kanchelskis. And then, of course, it's the 90s thing. The phrase Fergie's fledglings become synonymous during the 90s. That is the correct answer. Well done. Absolutely well done for getting that right, buddy. Congratulations to you. Just send me a DM. We'll get your details. We'll get the computer ordered for where you are. We'll get ordered there and get it sent to you. And of course, we'll get you the Boohoo. This is actually the Boohoo limited edition hoodie. We'll get one of these sent out in your size as well. But well done to you. Of course, the clues are a little bit cryptic. They're not going to make complete sense. They're meant to be a bit like it. We'll launch a new one later on today on the Straight Facts podcast. We'll get that launched later on today as well. So we'll get that done and we'll think about a new big prize to put in there as well. So well done to you. I'm very happy somebody got it. We want to give back to our super chat as best we can. Someone here says on the radar. So no, it wasn't that, but there we go. Congratulations to you for getting that right. Well done. Well done indeed. I did see this. I reckon I know I saw you and somebody else got it right like 4 or 5 days ago. But they didn't put it in relation to that. So there we go. Next on the show, Igao is here with me to have his say. Smash that like and that share button, people. Let's go. How you doing, mate? You good?
I'm doing good, Terry. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm very, very well. What's on your mind?
Okay. I just want to say the whole Ole Gunnar Solskjær thing, I genuinely believe they view him as an interim at this moment in time. They don't view him as the actual manager, and they literally are going to keep him in the job because they don't want to bring in an interim and have that whole situation again where they're scrambling to bring in a new manager, and they're going to only replace him when they're ready to bring in the next full-term manager. They don't want to go through an interim period. That's what it seems like to me personally.
Yeah, I mean, but on that though, like, who do you think they're looking at? What do you think the plan is then?
I think they've tried to get some managers in, but nobody seems to be like open to take the job right away. Or the people that they have approached, they haven't gone all the way in with, like Antonio Conte. They went half-hearted into that one, and then he ended up going to Spurs. I think if you guys would have fully went in for him and gave him the money that he wanted and get everything done, you could have got it done. Antonio Conte seemed like you guys weren't fully, like, almost like you still wanted to keep Ole a little bit longer, and that's what stopped you guys from getting Antonio Conte. And now the situation with Ralf Rangnick, he's still in Russia, if I'm not mistaken, and you'd need to pay a release clause or some sort of fee to get him out. Am I correct? to say that?
Yeah, I think his role as like a sporting director over there, I don't think it hits the same as being a manager or a player. I think it's more like a normal. I don't think it would cost as much, but yeah, it can be done. For me, I said it the other day on a show that what I'm kind of hoping for is. What I was really, really hoping for is that actually this delay was so we could announce something like Ralph Rangnick is going to come in as a sporting director, and it's going to be Ten Hag or Rodgers or Graham Potter even underneath him, and it's going to be this next evolution phase. Equally, what I'd love is for us to announce that Van der Sar's taking over from Woodward at the end of the year, and Ten Hag is coming in with him. All these things are great, but I still don't think you should be keeping Ollie in his job, because even it was Ollie's decision to send everybody on holiday these next few days, and instantly the news has come out. The players are miffed. The players want to work on the system. They want to work on getting things right, and now been given 4 or 5 days off. They're frustrated by it. These things are what is taking the club backwards, in my opinion.
I genuinely believe everything you've been saying about your board is right. They are incompetent and everything else, but the main thing they're going to do is they're not going to try to have another Conte situation where Ollie seems like he's going to be sacked. They want to make everything sound smooth. If they're going to do something, they're going to try to do it discreetly at this point. They're not going to try to get it out in the open, because it's going to be difficult. Manchester United, it's always difficult to keep stuff discreet. But I feel like it's going to cause more disharmony within the team than it already is. It's going to cause more problems for Ole Gunnar Solskjær and everybody else undermining him if they know that they're openly looking for a new manager while he's still there. And at this moment, I feel like if they're doing anything, they're going to do it behind closed doors for the end of the season or the next available time where they might be able to sack him. That's when they're going to bring in the person that they have planned. But right now, it just seems like everything's being done behind the scenes to get somebody in the situation ready to come in when they're ready to sack Ollie. And at this moment, until they have that person ready, they're not going to sack Ollie. They view Ole Gunnar Solskjær as the interim manager that he was when he first came in. And I genuinely believe up until now, the ownership of Manchester United view him as a stopgap until the next manager, and they will not sack him no matter how bad it gets until they have the next manager available, because they're not going to give it to his understudies currently to run the team for the next couple of weeks, and they're not going to bring somebody else in just to manage the team over the next couple of weeks. I personally believe Manchester United view Ole Gunnar Solskjær as the current not only manager but the current interim manager. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and listen, I don't think it's not a bad take. It's just the wrong move. Just because of the mood of things, really. I understand what you're saying, but it's wrong. Not you're wrong. If that's what they're doing, it's wrong, because Ollie's not the interim; he's the permanent manager, and it's falling apart. And they're currently like getting Sancho to train as a right wing back in training. It's these are the things that I look at. And the thing with Ollie is, I'm not going to completely regress on things that I've said about him in the past. I've seen a lot of people say, he's done nothing good and whatever. We weren't as bad as this last year. But what I'm seeing from Ollie right now is a manager who is flagging. I'm seeing a manager who does not know what to do. He's lost. He's completely and utterly lost. Training Sancho as a right wing back. He's played. He rushed Varane back, out injured again. He played Maguire when he shouldn't have played Maguire. We went to this 3 at the back as almost a reaction to what the media was saying. It lasted 1.5 games, and in both the Villarreal and the City games, we switched out of it like after an injury and after going 2-0 down. He brought Rashford on at the weekend when he had a cold and flu and hadn't trained all week. Maguire hadn't trained for weeks and just got thrown back into the team. These are the actions. These are the actions of a very, very, very a manager under excruciatingly bad pressure who is now panicking at every single step. Every game, we move further away from our goals this season. So I hope there's a long-term plan. I hope that I can kind of come back on here in a week or two and go, do you know what? I was wrong to be so angry. I should have been more patient. However, it's the boy that cried wolf. I don't have faith in a club that has failed us for a decade now.
What about the fixture swing? because they see the teams that you've been playing throughout this tough period that you guys are having are generally good teams, or teams that should be good. Like Everton, maybe not, but Leicester's a decent side. Manchester United going up against Liverpool and Man City technically is always a tough game, and you tend to either win or lose those games anyways. The upcoming games you're going to have Wolves, you beat Tottenham, those games you should be winning. Then you have Chelsea, Arsenal. If you lose those games or draw those games, they look at the next coming fixtures after that and they say to themselves, you know what? Everything's going to start to get easier. We're going to start to, this is a tough patch, but once the fixtures swing into our favor, we might keep Ollie through for the rest of the season at that point. And I think if you guys do start picking up wins against Watford, you possibly get something against Chelsea or Arsenal, and then you go into the next set of fixtures, which is a lot easier. Guess what, Terry, if your board see Ollie and the team picking up performances off these smaller teams, the minnows that you have afterwards, and if you look at the actual fixtures after this set of hard games coming up with Chelsea and Arsenal, you face a bunch of teams that are very beatable. And guess what? You could go on another winning streak of 10 games afterwards.
And again, I don't think what you're saying is out. Except what I'm going to say without it being a knock at you. What you're saying is so stupid. Not you, what you're saying. If that's the Glazers trainer thought is stupid, because that could happen. We could go on a run of 10, 11 games against easier teams and win 7 or 8 of them and be back in top 4 contention. But we ain't winning major trophies with this manager. And that's got to be the standards. I look at the way Arsenal are. Arsenal fans are in cloud 9 right now with the progression of your team. And you're moving forward. But irrespective of what Arteta's doing now, there'll come a point in a year, 2 years, 3 years where a decision has to be made. Is he good enough to win major trophies or not? Like challenge for Prems and win Champions Leagues. If he isn't and they keep him in place just to tread water around 4th, 5th, 6th, you have to demand that they go. Like none of our clubs that spend what we spend want that. And that's my point. I still think with this squad, Ollie could scrape top 4. No, I don't actually. I'm a liar. I don't think he'll get top 4.
Okay, but let me challenge you 1 second, Terry.
But so let me just reiterate myself so I get myself in order. I don't think we can make top 4 because I believe the players are falling out of love with what he's doing and they're challenging too much. However, on your point, I could see the Glazers having that as a train of thought, but it's wrong to think like that.
Okay.
Go on, mate. What do you want to challenge me on?
Okay. You guys get, if you guys go and somehow miraculously stay in the Champions League group stage, get through the group stages, beat Villarreal, beat Young Boys, and you're in to the next round of the Champions League, right? Then after the Arsenal game, somehow you beat Crystal Palace, Norwich, Brentford, Brighton, Newcastle, Burnley. You start seeing the team back in the manager again. You start seeing everything else. I'm not saying he's going to stay for sure, but this could buy the team time and the club time to get the right person in the summer. And that might be how they might be looking at it business-wise, because Brendan Rodgers right now would take a big move for you guys to get him mid-season. Ten Hag, big move to get him in.
And Egal, sorry to interject. I think you could be right, but it is fucking wrong. Ollie has to go now. We could challenge still for things. We could win trophies still this season with even just a short-term manager like a Ralph Ragnick. We could still win something with this squad and with a quality manager. Yes, it would take a lot of money to get Brendan Rodgers out of his contract now. So spend it if he's who you want. It might cost an extra 10 million to get Ten Hag now, but if it's who we want, spend it. I am not happy with my club writing off a season. I totally get your point. I don't think you're wrong in what Man United might be planning, but if you're right in what they're doing, that's wrong of them. It can't be acceptable. It can't be. If they don't know their logical answer and they don't know their options in front of them and they haven't chosen which option they're going to take, what makes you think they're just going to sack the manager to put the pressure on themselves? Because it's falling apart, but you don't need to put the pressure on yourselves. Man United fans would calm down the large percentage if Ollie was dismissed and any caretaker interim manager with a decent CV came in and they said, look, this person is coming in. We have our target of, we're not going to tell you who our targets are. They won't say that. But we have our main target that we're working on to bring in at the end of the season. They could be a little bit open and say, it's currently in a job. We know that it will be in a job. So we're working on that deal right now. Ralph's coming in or Valverde's coming in. I'm throwing names out here now. I haven't put too much thought into this. Whoever's coming in, they're going to steady the ship for us until the end of the season. And then a new guy will come in. Man United fans would relax Man United fans would go, okay, cool. We know something's coming. Right now, nobody can see light at the end of the tunnel. And with the amount of mistakes the Glazers have made at this football club, that's where this frustration is really coming from. So I do get your point, but for me, Ollie has burnt the bridges. Ollie has gone. He's making crazy decisions, and we're throwing our season away. And I know that football doesn't end in May 2022. There's hundreds of more seasons to come. But we have got a great opportunity with this squad to win things and achieve. And the irony in it is this. If we keep Ollie till the end of the season, I believe we miss out on top 4. Therefore, next year, let's just say it is Ten Hag or it is Zidane or it is Poch that comes in. And we're amazing. We're not going to be in the Champions League to show it. And then that's it. Ronaldo leaves. Cavani's gone. Neither of them available for any Champions League football with us. It for me, is just the wrong... I get your point. I'm not disagreeing with you. But if you're right, it's a terrible decision by the Glazers, in my opinion. Absolutely horrendous.
I genuinely think Ollie should go. I'm completely on your side. I get Ollie needs to go. But until you have a tangible replacement that can come in through the door, I don't think they're going to go through an interim situation at Manchester United again. They do not want to go through an interim situation.
Well, again, but they should.
Who's the interim?
That's for them to find. There are managers out there. Even I'm telling you now, even just putting someone like we just mentioned, like that, Ralph Rangnick, as an interim to come in. If you listen to what's being said, he doesn't want to be a manager long term. He wants to be a sporting director. You bring him in, and then you look at what he's doing on an interim level, as an example. Even getting someone in the current setup to step in and just be the manager, even if for a few weeks until just something to give Man United fans a little bit of hope. Because right now, it is painful to see. Every game feels inevitable. Having an interim isn't a problem. It really isn't. As long as what you need to not do is deviate. The reason we're in this situation with Ollie is because we had a plan for after Jose, but we deviated from it because Ollie had a good run of 15 games. We just can't allow that to happen again. Learn from our mistakes. Having an interim wasn't the mistake. Employing him full-time has turned out to be the mistake. But I do hear what you're saying.
We had an interim at Arsenal in what's his name, Freddie. And I'll tell you, after 2 games, the club was panicking to try to get Arteta signed quicker. And you don't want to be going into a situation where your club gets an interim. Interim is treading water and struggling with the team and the talent you have. And they start looking at the players will get even more frustrated.
But it worked. Worse. But it worked, didn't it?
At the end of the day, we ended up getting Arteta, but it took a couple more games. And at that point,
Chelsea have done well with interims in the past.
When was Chelsea's last interim? Chelsea tend to just straight up bring in the managers.
But that isn't my. But that's because Tuchel was available. I swear they've done 2, 3. I swear Gus Hiddink has done it twice, and they had Benitez. Now they didn't want Benitez, but he still won them a trophy. I believe he won them a trophy. Like Gus Hiddink did well with them. Like sometimes you need to do it, and there are ways. You just don't employ the interim full term because it doesn't work. But I still think it can be done right. I do personally. I do believe it. But listen, Terry just wants to complain. It's not about wanting to complain. I just don't want us to make those same mistakes again. Igal, great call as ever, mate. Thanks for coming on, having your say, brother. Really appreciate it. Everybody, sorry. I know you said so bye there. Sorry, mate. I'll speak to you again soon, brother. Thank you. Take care. Everyone that has tuned in today, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Smash that like button. By the way, the gentleman who won the prize, I've just followed you on Twitter, so send me a DM and we'll get you that Xbox sent out. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again